All right, recording started. So this is your assignment for today. You have to follow all these steps. It's very easy assignment. Okay, so you don't need to worry about it. I want you to practice yourself. In the exam, you will not find the internet. You will not find anybody to help you. So one, define an object with the name of student. So you will define a class of name student. The object has ID, name, and specialization as private attributes. You know the attributes, and if you are not sure that you know them in the coming example, you need to focus on and understand them. Write a suitable mutator. The mutator that we are going to discuss now. We've already used it, but we will discuss. Write suitable accessor. Write a constructor of the class. Use the class in the main function and change the information it contains. All right. And in the main function, write the code to print the information of an object of the class. So this is your assignment. It's up to 3 o'clock today, and you can extend till 4 o'clock, but it will be late, and you will get two instead of 3 marks. All right. Okay, so this is your assignment for today. Let's go to our lecture to explain the 2 or slides left. First of all, of course, this is your assignment. Okay. First of all, we will meet two or new thing, which is the. Let me just connect the tab. The nested class. What's the meaning of nested class? Nested class, it means to define a class inside another class. For example, here, of course, this is very common. A class upper, I called it upper to show that this is the main class, or not the main class, the upper class. Okay, I have upper class. Inside this upper class, I can define another class, which is I called it lower, but you can give it any name. So here, if you can see, the class upper public. In the public, I defined another class. Okay, this is the second class, or the inner class. Okay, if you can see here, I've defined class lower, private integer n, public void set data of integer n, and print data. So it's just a class that set a number and integer and print an integer, but this is placed inside another class. So again, I'll explain it again very fast. It's very easy idea. Okay, so here what I have here is I have this class. All right, and inside this class I defined another class, which is this one. Okay, this is called nested, just like when if you remember in C++ and programming selected language, when you had if statement, and inside this if statement another if statement, and inside or for loop. Okay, inside you have another for. We call it nested. It means something inside another thing. So this is the idea of nested class. Now, if I define this integer main, when I call the lower class, I use this notation, which is double colon. Okay. When I want to call it, I have to use the upper colon, lower. All right, then I define X, for example, just like here. All right. Now also you can use the data or the attributes and the public methods directly. This is I'll give you an example of about this, but first but again let's talk about the accessor and the mutator. Okay, functions provide direct way to change or just access private variable. Now you have, as I told you, we have private variables. For example, where I don't, this is public, sorry, private. This is the private one. I have integer n, and as I told you, if you write, for example, when you define any number, this is num. N1, for example, when you write N1 dot N, you will get error. Why? Because N is private. How to access it? We can access it by the accessor and mutator. This one is called accessor. Why it's called accessor? It's accessor because I can access the private number. So of course, I'll show you this is new notation. You can write it here or you can write it outside. OK, the mutator is to change the value. This is the mutator. OK, see here, void set number of constant number. Now, as you can see here, we don't have code, but we've written the function outside the class. If you are writing a function outside the class like this, now you have to put this double colon. OK, or you can write it here inside and remove this. So the accessor is just return the value n, and the mutator just to change the value of n. I will write these two programs. These two cost you next lecture. I wanted to read them, but now I want to discuss the assignment, which is the circle. In the circle, I ask you to write a code. Let's go there and see what was the question. All right. Define the object circle in a class, considering that the circle has center coordinate x and y and a radius r. The class can find the area and the perimeter or circumference. It's sometimes they use circumference. All right, the area or the circumference. All right, so to write it, first of all, I will define class circle. OK, and that's it. Students who put this point, OK, this is what I was talking about. I never talked about how to inherit features from another class. That's it. This is what we know. Now I have private. I'll be having integer x, y, and integer r, or I prefer to have it double r. Okay. That's it. Public. We have area, double area of, no need to have any values. Here in area, I will write return area pi square r, right? Pi, which is 3.17, I guess. Let me just see the value of pi. 3.14. Okay, 3.14 times R times R. I never gave you this notation, right? 2. Some students have written it like this. So R times R. Okay, that's it. This is the area. Semicolon and close the parentheses. Okay, double circumference here, just return 2 times pi 3.14 times R, semicolon and close it. Of course, you can write it as usual, like this, but to save the space, I write it or I wrote it like this. Okay, it's up to you. I don't mind. Okay, that's it. This is the end of the class. Now, if you of course, you need a constructor now, or mutator and accessor. So here is the constructor. The constructor, we said, it takes the same name of the class and it takes the values to initialize. So integer x1, integer y1, and double R. What will do? Well, what will the constructor do? Or does? It will put x equal x1, y equals y1, and R equals here I will call it R1 to avoid conflict. R1. Right? That's it. I'm done. Then in the main function, I'll define, for example, circle C1 equals circle of 3, 4, and 5. All right. Now I can take the area. Okay. Of course, double A1 equal C1 dot area. It's capital letter or small area. Okay. And out the area is A1. Let's see this executed and see. Okay, so this is the area is 78.5. I will just print this, copy this code and share it with you, and I want you to execute it and to make some changes. Okay, I'll execute it. I'll paste it here. Please just copy it and paste it in your editor and execute it and see the other point. Now, this is all about last lecture assignment. I want you now to start with your assignment. I'll be here with you. Okay. If you have any questions to ask, please feel free. I'll stop recording now.